Today, we are welcoming back Gary Lezak onto the podcast to give you guys your Monday weather report. Welcome back to the CattleUSA Podcast, everyone. We are once again talking weather on this wonderful Monday. I hope you all are having. Gary today breaks down everything that's happening in the weather in the world right now. We are touching on the super exciting thing that the LRC is setting up right now. What does that mean? What's happening? What can we expect over the next few months? We talk frost, we talk freeze dates, we talk hurricane season. We touch on all of it today. So before we hop into the podcast with Gary, though, if you guys could take a second to like, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, we would really appreciate it here at the team. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this podcast episode with Gary. Gary, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
No, good morning.
I was expecting you to do a bigger intro. I was looking for I'm about to clean my glasses, but good morning.
I gotta keep you on your toes. You never know if I'm gonna sit here and talk for like 3 minutes and then let you talk, or if I'm gonna sit here and be like, morning, Gary. How are you?
I'm like 1 minute behind today. Today, everything has so far been 1 minute behind, which might be okay. It's only 1 minute, but that 1 minute might be important. It's okay. If you know you're 1 minute behind, we'll be okay, because I think I just cut up. I think I'm there now.
Perfect. Well, we'll get you out of here 1 minute early and catch you up.
Okay.
There you go. Well, how's life in Colorado, Gary? How is everything?
Everything's good. We just had an inch of rain here in Golden, 1.28 inches of rain in Denver, rain off on the eastern plains in western Nebraska, western Kansas. The storm moved slowly across Kansas City, 1 to 2 inches of rain there. And it's been too wet in the fields in some areas. I put out our weather intelligence report yesterday, and you can get that on the screen. Lauren will show you exactly how to get these products, but it's the Weather 2020 Intelligence Report, and it's going to be a very exciting time to join, because we are going to take you through the developing new LRC. What happens with the LRC is every year the weather pattern sets up around October 5th, 6th, or 7th is when it begins. And so we're almost there. And then that'll be a day one of the pattern. Try to keep it simplified. Just know that a unique pattern sets up every single fall. So we are about to experience a pattern that has never happened before, and it's starting to evolve now. And so that's something that I'll take you through in our reports, and it's very exciting. And on this podcast, Lauren, it has been way too wet in a few spots. So here we are going into harvest. South Dakota, North Dakota, most of Nebraska, and much of Kansas, into northeast Colorado and eastern Wyoming. This region has had a lot of rain in the last 10 days. So it's not like a flood, but the fields have gotten wet, and this is not good to the start of harvest. If that were to continue, then I'd be a big concern. But this pattern that we've been in the past year, every single time it seems like it's going to get too wet or too dry, it will stop raining or it will start raining. That's what this pattern has been. I would love to have every pattern to be that way. But right now, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska into western Kansas, some of the fields have been too wet. But good news, they're likely going to dry out. And how wet has it been? Let me just tell you this. In like Nebraska, for example, some spots have had 1,100% of average rainfall. So around from Grand Island west to North Platte, Nebraska, that whole area that's 10 to 11 times the normal rainfall, just over a 10-day stretch. It's not like that would be a major flood if that happened over a whole month. But fortunately, it will be drying out there. But just know that's what I'm working on, Lauren, right now. Pretty interesting.
Such an exciting time around here. I love it. And we are part of that has gotten absolutely dumped on in the last 10 days. It is raining here again today, which, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, because it's like our farmers need to get in the fields, they need to get in and harvest, all of those things. But then our ranchers are like, bring it on. We need all the late summer rain that we can get for all of our winter crops and everything like that, is for all of our like winter grass, so that it can continue to grow. So it's like, if we could just bank it for the next 3 weeks and then we get rain, that would be awesome. and go from there. But we've been talking about this for a few weeks now, saying like, hey guys, end of September is coming around and it's going to start dumping rain for a little while.
Well, there you go. There's an LRC forecast. And anybody out there who's experienced it, we'd love to hear from you so we can get some testimonials, because a few of you probably realize we have been predicting this. We predicted it would get wet at the end of September, and it did. So producers, agribusinesses, hopefully you prepare for some of these harvest problems. So some grain handling challenges out there, I guess that's what we could call it. But so wetter pockets there for sure. For winter wheat, like you just said, Lauren, that's the silver lining. There's a silver lining here, is that there's moisture that's out there that supports winter wheat germination. So these areas that were drier earlier got a lot of rain just recently. So that's really good for the winter wheat. So as you said, it's a double-edged sword. There's some good and some bad, but no ugly. This has been good, a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm setting up all the prayers right now that this next cycle is going to be the exact same as this one, as far as like, we think it's going to get too dry and then it corrects. We think it's going to get too wet and then it corrects. I'm praying that the next cycle, as it develops, brings us the same thing, which, I mean, the probability is probably not super high that it's going to, but a girl can dream.
It's going to be a completely different pattern. That's what's so amazing, Lauren, is that a pattern that has never, ever happened before is setting up right now, probably at its very, very earliest stages. I can show you how this storm that we just had, that's exiting the area the next day and returning to drier weather, I can show you a version of it in the other cycles of this year's pattern. And so it's right on schedule, which means that new for next year has not happened yet. So a mistake most meteorologists around the nation and other weather companies that you may use, I do not recommend any other weather company. So for this reason, they don't use the centerpiece of the big atmospheric jigsaw that we do. The LRC is literally a big centerpiece of the whole puzzle. And so when they come out with their winter forecast, here's the outlook for December, for January, for February, for March, for spring. Here's the forecast right now. And they already have one out there. They left the centerpiece of the big equation out. So how can that possibly be right? And there's where the image of meteorologists comes in. They will be wrong. Those forecasts, I can already tell you, a very good chance they will be wrong. Anything you've heard so far. So we will have our take. And right here, we'll talk about what we begin to know in about 2 weeks, because it doesn't start till about October 5th, 6th, or 7th. So that week and the week after, we begin to learn what's going to happen. And by December, we will provide that forecast. That's why you want to become premium members of the Weather Intelligence Report and then get that dashboard, which we'll talk about later, because by December, it helps you prepare for which weeks will be wet, which weeks will be dry accurately. And it's the only system in the world that can do such a thing.
So fascinating, so cool, and such a fun time to be able to break all of this down and talk about it and what we can expect over the next few weeks, because holy cow, October is knocking. It is right around the corner. I am not ready for it. I can't believe that we're already almost at the end of September. I've been looking at my schedule, and granted, I was out for the first week and a half of September, but still, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're already here. I can't believe that we're already setting up a new cycle and breaking all of that down and all the things. So exciting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so, but even the LRC model that we have, as we break it down, let's talk about frost and freezes. Here we are. We're going to move into October. The average first freeze for like eastern Kansas is around the first week of November, and the average for western Kansas is probably the second week of October. So our model right now shows for the northern plains, this includes North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota, there's a frost around October the 8th, and then a freeze around October. That's what our model shows. But remember, the pattern's changing, so it could happen a week earlier or it could be a couple weeks later. But that's what the model shows right now. And farther south, I went down into Nebraska and Kansas, and the frost the frost potential is around October 25th. There's likely somewhere in that range is going to be a frost, and then possibly that freeze around October 27th, 28th for Nebraska, Iowa, averaged together. So farther north, maybe a little earlier than that. But that's what the model shows now. So we'll just want to keep you updated on that. But that's coming. The first frost or freeze. But here in Colorado, where it just rained over an inch of rain, everything is still brown from August being so dry. I think everything's going to green up. It's going to be a pretty weekend. I think it's going to be fun to watch it turn green. If I did a 3-day time lapse, that'd be fun, but I don't have any way to do the 3-day time lapse. I'd love to do it, though. I'll take a picture of each day and then show a fade from one picture to the next.
Your cowboy boots tell your story before you ever speak. Every scuff, every crease is a memory. At Chizo's, we make each pair like it's the only one that matters. Because to the man who wears them, it is. Cowboy boots made to be worn for years and worth passing down. Find yours at Chizos.com. That's CHISOS.com. Chizos. Do right. Love Texas.
There you go. You don't want to lose your phone for 3 days in a row, setting it up in a window and not be able to do anything with it?
If you try to get a hold of me on lots of days, the clouds here are fascinating, I'll set up my time lapse and I'll push. I finally started pushing do not disturb, because when somebody calls, it ruins the time lapse. So for hours on end, people cannot call me because I'm doing a time lapse of clouds. I love clouds. Clouds are the basics of meteorology. And so if you learn clouds, and farmers and ranchers and all you guys out there, you are probably experts. If you're out in the field a lot of the time, you see the clouds, you experience the clouds, you probably just subtly understand the clouds so well because of that. And so you're good weather predictors just based on looking at the sky, because rule number 1 in forecasting is always look up because you never know. Always look outside because you never know. Clouds are the basics. And so when I was a little kid, I got a cloud book when I was like 7 years old. And, I'm not a big reader. I've read lots of weather books. So I got my degree in meteorology, so I had to read something. But I like to look at pictures. So cloud books are great because there's lots of pictures. But there are 3 cloud types. Did you know that there are 3 cloud types, 3 main cloud types?
I did. I remember that from I think 8th grade science is when we learned that, or something like that. Or even probably younger than that. I don't know. But yes, there are.
That's a whole.
I don't know if I could name them.
Yeah. So, but there are stratus is the low cloud layer. Then you have the middle cloud layer is the cumulus cloud group. And then you have cirrus is the high cloud group. Cirrus are the wispy ones made up of ice crystals, usually about 20,000 feet above you. So then you have different things you can do with cirrus. Stratus means spread out, and cirrostratus would be a cirrus cloud that's spread out. Stratus itself is a low cloud. Fog is stratus. So when it's foggy, that's a stratus cloud. And then when the clouds build up and start growing, those are cumulus clouds. And so, and then you can have the different, prefixes and postfixes. I don't know what you call those. I know it's prefix. But anyway, you have alto cumulus. That's actually a middle cloud layer. Alto means high, but it's not as high as cirrus. So alto cumulus, alto stratus, and then you have stratocumulus. Combining those 2 terms, that's instead of fog, it's now higher up, and it's got some definition in them. So stratocumulus clouds. And then you have nimbostratus. Nimbus means rain. And nimbostratus is the kind of cloud we had when it's not thundering. It's usually a nimbostratus cloud that's raining. And then the biggest cloud type is called cumulonimbus. So that's where the tornadoes and all the bad weather comes from. Those are the thunderstorms, the anvils on top of them. Anyway, just a little cloud discussion.
Cloud 101. That's today's podcast title. Clouds
Right.
101. Lauren's head is in the clouds.
And in my book,
things.
it's Sunny Life. Have I showed you that book?
You have not. No.
You've never seen it?
No.
What? Should I go
I need
get
to
one?
see this book.
Can I show
Yeah.
you?
Go get one. I want to see it.
Oh, right here. Here's Sunny.
Sunny. Hi, girl.
You're not seeing this?
No, I haven't seen this.
In the book, It's a Sunny Life.
Stop.
You didn't know this?
No. That
Yeah.
is so
There's
amazing.
Sunny.
Oh my gosh.
There I am. Believe me, this version of me, it's a caricature, but the ears were way too big and the nose was way too big. So I had them redraw it because it was just ridiculous. But, and then there's Sunny right back here. Sunny, say hi.
Well, hello, Sunny. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
And
That is
so
amazing.
it's about how it's about adoption and family and going on an adventure, but it begins with Meet Windy, Breezy, and Stormy. They belong to this weather guy who's talking on TV right now, getting a new dog. And they said, what's that all about? So we go to the shelter. I don't know if you can see her in the window of the shelter. There she is.
Aw,
We get there and we go on an adventure to bond.
that's so cute. That's amazing. I love that.
It's a really great story, and so it's available on Amazon. So just go, It's a Sunny Life. You'll search for that. But
I'll have to link it.
in the book,
Amazing.
this is for kids, but for kids of all ages, there's what is precipitation, types of storm systems, and then it has a whole thing on clouds. And it's got this cloud chart with Sunny sitting there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
there's all the clouds. So
So
and it talks
fun.
about the clouds and storms, and it's really cool. It's a whole cloud chart for kids of all ages. It's a
So
Sunny.
fun.
How about that? Download it
That's so
today.
cool.
You can download a version so you can read it online, or you can get the book itself and just go to Amazon.
How wonderful. That is so fun. Learn a new fun fact every day.
I
Gary
know.
has a kid's book. We'll have to add that to our shelf for when we have kids eventually. I love it.
I'll send
So
you a second
fun.
copy.
Even better. Even better. Be
Yeah.
like, hey, this person right here, pay attention. This book is going to be worth something one of these days. Don't you dare slobber all over it.
And if any of you today sign up for our Substack account for our weather intelligence report, you go into the comments and say, Gary, I signed up today. I think we have a big discount right now, so you can go sign up for that. And then I'll send you a signed copy. But just you have to let me know.
There you go. There you go.
Include that in
How
there.
wonderful. Oh, how amazing. Well, Gary, is there anything else we need to hit on? Maybe hit on hurricane season as we're kind of starting to wrap that up. Your thoughts there, and if there's anything else we missed.
Well, we just had Gabrielle. It became a major hurricane. And let me call up the latest data real quick so I can be up to date real quick. But Gabrielle is a major hurricane that is, it's down to 115 miles per hour right now. It's a strong hurricane still in the central Atlantic. There's another one forming with a 90% chance of it getting named in the next couple of days in the central Atlantic. We are right on cycle to Aaron. Remember, Hurricane Aaron was a major hurricane. So that one is likely related to Aaron. It's literally 41 days after Aaron coming up here very soon. And then there's another one forecast with, let's see what the probability is. The Hurricane Center is saying 80% chance. So we might get two named storms very close to each other just off the East Coast, and one of them could threaten the Carolinas in about 3 or 4 days real quickly. So the next name on the list, I should go look at my list real quick, I believe is, I don't want to call it wrong, so hold on just a second. I'm going to tell you these names. And here we go. Okay, the next name on the list is Humberto. So Humberto probably forms. You'll probably hear about Tropical Storm Humberto today or tomorrow. And then Imelda is the next one. And then the next two are normal names. I don't know if Imelda and Humberto are normal names, but I'm just saying the next two are Jerry and Karen. So Humberto, Imelda, Jerry, and Karen.
It would be so cliche if Karen made landfall and was a Karen type of storm. It'd be too cliche. That's set up too well there. They really should have reevaluated that name.
I know. Karen, will it be a Karen? That's the question. We'll see. That'd be 4 more named storms. That would get us up to about 11 for the year. Our forecast of 17 is going to be way too high unless there's like 6 more at the end of October and November, which has happened only once in history. So usually there's only one more after October 20th. So we're getting to the end.
How exciting. Well, is there anything else that we need to hit on today, Gary, or we kind of touched all of it?
No, I think we've touched it all, but I would like to have the recipe for the sourdough, and I still have yet to have it.
Yes, I need to. I need to just send you some in the mail. Next time I make some, I'm going to FedEx overnight it to you and just send you some in the mail.
Just wrap it up, send it, unless they don't allow you to send fresh food FedEx.
They totally do. They totally do. I don't know why they want it.
They don't let you send chewing tobacco.
Well, that makes sense because that's a controlled substance. Like,
okay. Well,
it makes sense that they wouldn't let you send that.
A friend of mine needed chewing tobacco and they wanted me to send it. I was like, oop, I'm going to get in trouble if I go to the post office and try to send that. It's just chewing tobacco, but you can't send it through the FedEx anyway.
That's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder if they like,
How
if
would
it's
they
like
know?
you can't send it period or if you have to have like a permit. I feel like you have to have a permit.
No, if you have a permit to sell, I think you can.
Yeah. It's like the same thing. Like, I don't think I can just send my friend a bottle of wine, like from my house. Like, I don't know if that's allowed
Why
either.
can't you?
Well, how do they know that you're not sending it to someone that's underage or something like that?
Oh.
I think that's the thought process.
That's interesting. Yes, that would be it. You can't check the ID through the mail.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay,
I think
good.
unless you're like a registered distributor.
Wow, you are smart.
I don't know if that's actually the case. That's just what makes sense in my brain. Jeez. Oh, jeez. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, as always, Gary, for your time today. To all of our listeners, everything that Gary and I chatted about today is going to be linked down in the show notes for you guys to check out. I'm also going to have the link to that book as well. It's A Sunny Life on Amazon down below because all of your grandkids, all of your kids, they all need it. Teach them about weather, teach them about clouds in a fun way. How amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Gary, thank you for your time. All of you listeners, check out those links down below. I've got the Substack. I've got the book. I've got everything that you could possibly need from Gary down in those show notes. And we will see you all tomorrow on another episode. Have a great day, y'all.